Would you trust your life to a $10 tool? Most people wouldn't, and that's their first mistake. They judge by price instead of proof, and that's how good gear gets ignored until it's too late. Because when disaster hits, price tags don't matter. Again and again, the so-called high-end gear looks impressive until it cracks under real pressure. But the cheap, overlooked tools, the kind most people ignore, keep working long after. In this video, we're uncovering those unsung heroes. So, grab a notebook, because by the end, you'll know exactly which low-cost items could save your life when the expensive ones fail. A $2 lighter beats a $40 gadget every single time. When it comes to fire and light, most people chase the flashy gear. Things like plasma lighters, the indestructible torches, the high-tech lanterns. But when the cold hits, the cheap stuff wins. A simple Bic lighter works after being dropped, soaked, and even frozen. You can buy 10 for the price of one tactical lighter, and every single one will start a flame when it matters. The same goes for matches. They're old school, but they still work when everything else fails. Seal them in a waterproof container, or dip the tips in candle wax to make them last even longer. When a lighter's out of fuel or too cold to spark, one strike of a match can feel like victory. Still, every prepper knows one truth. Fire redundancy saves lives. That's why you always pack layers of ignition, lighters, wax matches, and a few cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly. They cost pennies, fit in any pocket, and burn hot even in wind or rain. And here's a bonus trick. Use a pencil sharpener to make tinder curls from sticks or branches. Light, compact, and endlessly renewable. When it comes to light, the rule is the same. Simple beats fancy every time. Forget the over-engineered lanterns that need special charges or rare batteries. A few tea candles and glass jars will light a room, warm your hands, and lift morale during a blackout. They're cheap, safe, and don't rely on lithium or solar. Only fire and common sense. Add a handful to your supplies, and you've already outsmarted most preppers who depend on batteries. Hand-crank flashlights deserve a spot too. They'll never win style points, but they work. And while the premium lights quit after a week, these simple ones just keep shining. Proof that reliability doesn't need a price tag. Losing power is a problem, but losing access to clean water is a whole different level of danger. Once taps go dry, every drop matters. Most people spend big money on fancy filters, but the real secret starts with the basics. A simple coffee filter or cotton bandana can remove dirt and sediment before the water ever touches your main filter. That tiny step can make your Sawyer or Life Straw last 10 times longer. Next, keep a small bottle of unscented bleach in your supplies. Just a few drops per liter can turn questionable water into something safe to drink. It's cheap, powerful, and it stores for years when kept sealed and cool. And here's the trick almost nobody talks about: plastic soda bottles. In full sunlight, they can disinfect clear water using the sawdust method. 6 hours of direct sunlight kills most harmful microbes. It's not fast, but it's free. And when you've got nothing else, it's life-saving. It's one of those methods that feels too simple to be true, but in survival, simplicity wins. Because when your filters clog and your bleach runs out, sunlight and a plastic bottle might be the only purification system you have left. You can survive 3 weeks without food and 3 days without water, but in the cold, 3 hours can be enough to put you in danger. When the power goes out, your home holds its warmth for a while. Walls, floors, and furniture still radiate what's left. But hour by hour, that heat slips away through windows, doors, and floors. And once the temperature drops, even simple tasks, from sleeping to thinking, become harder than you expect. A reflective car windshield cover might look cheap, but it's one of the smartest heat tools you can own. Use it behind your bed or along the wall to reflect warmth back toward you. Or place it under your sleeping area to block cold rising from the floor. Pair that with a Mylar blanket and a roll of duct tape, and you can turn any room into a heat trap, sealing off doors, covering windows, and keeping one space warm enough to ride out the blackout. And here's where old school gear still wins. Wool Army surplus blankets might look outdated, but they're fire resistant, durable, and warm even when wet. They cost a fraction of those modern technical sleeping systems, and they'll outlast them by years. Now, let's talk about cooking, because this is where many people waste money fast. They rush to buy expensive survival stoves when the best gear might already be sitting in the garage. A simple can of sterno or any canned heat can keep food warm and boil water without smoke or sparks. Pair it with a stable base, even a few bricks or a metal tray, and you've got a clean, indoor-safe heat source that runs for hours. And if you ever run out of fuel, don't panic. You can build a small tin can stove in minutes using nothing more than a pocket knife and a couple of air holes. It costs nothing, works anywhere, and teaches a skill that fancy gear can't replace: self-reliance. For cookware, skip the titanium marketing hype. A thrift store cast iron skillet can last a lifetime, cook on any surface, and even be used directly over open flame. It holds heat evenly, sterilizes food fast, and works with everything from canned goods to fresh game. Quick break here. If you found this breakdown useful, give it a like and subscribe for more fact-based prepping strategies. If you've got thoughts or experiences on this topic, drop them in the comments. Together, we can all get better prepared. Alright, let's get back to the video. Now, let's talk about power, because light and information can mean survival. Start with a simple hand-crank flashlight and a radio combo. It's cheap, durable, and gives you both light and updates when everything else goes dark. For under $25, you get light, power, and information in one tool. No outlets, no batteries, just a crank. Next, think about the tools you already have. A basic car inverter and a 12-volt cigarette lighter cable can turn your vehicle into a temporary power station. You can charge phones, radios, flashlights, even run a small fan or heating pad, as long as you manage your fuel wisely. It's quiet, reliable, and doesn't rely on solar panels or expensive generators. Still, you can lose everything to something as small as a single cut. Most people underestimate how fast that can happen: a blister from chopping wood, or a burn from cooking over an open flame. When there's no running water, no clean towels, no antibiotics, those little injuries can turn against you fast. What starts as a small cut can become a serious threat in just a day or two. Because out there, infections don't wait for help to arrive. And here's the thing: survival medicine doesn't care about brand names. Many people don't realize it, but veterinary antiseptic sprays like Bannex or Blue Coat use nearly the same active ingredients as the ones made for humans, yet they cost far less. They're shelf-stable, effective, and perfect for cleaning small cuts, burns, or scrapes when your regular supplies run out. Just check the label and store them separately from your everyday medications. Next, skip the overpriced field wipes. Baby wipes and plain bar soap do the same job. They keep you clean when water's limited and morale's low. Store multiple packs sealed tight and add extra bars of soap in plastic or vacuum bags to prevent moisture damage. Clean hands save more lives than most people think, especially during long-term outages when sanitation breaks down. And here's a trick old medics know well: maxi pads. They're not just hygiene products, they're excellent absorbent wound dressings. Sterile, cheap, and individually wrapped, perfect for covering bleeding injuries when you're out of your proper gauze. Taking care of your body is one thing, but taking care of your gear is just as important. Because once things start breaking, survival turns into maintenance, and that's where most people fail. You can have all the gear in the world, but if your strap snaps, a zipper jams, or a shelter tears open in the wind, expensive equipment becomes useless fast. Here's the truth: the best repair kit isn't sold in tactical catalogs. It's built from cheap, everyday tools. Start with duct tape. It seals leaks, patches clothing, repairs tents, even holds wounds together in a pinch. Add a few zip ties, safety pins, and paracord, and you can fix almost anything long enough to stay alive. A tube of super glue belongs in every kit too. It seals cuts, repairs gear, and bonds fabric or metal in seconds. And don't overlook balling wire or coat hangers. Dependable metal that can replace screws, hang lanterns, or reinforce broken frames. If you've got a multi-tool, that's your workshop in your pocket. But even a small screwdriver and knife can do the same job if you know how to use them. In a long-term crisis, it's not the strongest who survive, it's the ones who can improvise. Because when something breaks and you can't order a replacement, knowing how to repair it is what keeps everything else working. When things fall apart, security isn't about having the most tactical gear. It's about using simple tools that actually stop threats. A $5 wooden dowel or a broom handle wedged into the track of a sliding door does more for safety than a $200 smart lock. it physically blocks entry, quietly and instantly. The same goes for door wedge alarms, small, cheap, and loud enough to wake the dead. Put one behind your front door or beside your tent flap, and you'll know the moment someone tries to enter. They're one of the simplest early warning systems you can buy. Gear scattered across the floor won't help you when seconds matter. In survival, the real advantage isn't what you own, it's how fast you can reach it, use it, and stay calm while everything else around you falls apart. Clear plastic bins beat expensive tactical bags every time. You can see exactly what's inside, grab what you need in seconds, and stack them neatly in your closet or garage. Label each bin by category: water, food, tools, medical, defense, and tape a quick list of contents to the lid. That little bit of organization today can save you hours of confusion later. A simple notebook and a Sharpie might be the most underrated survival tools you'll ever own. Use them to log what you've stored, when it expires, and what needs replacing. In a real crisis, your memory won't be enough, and paper doesn't forget. You can even use the back pages to track things like weather patterns, fuel use, or radio frequencies if communication goes down. And to keep it all tight and efficient, use the Ziploc system. Instead of tossing everything into one big bag, separate your gear into clear, labeled Ziploc bags. Think in small categories: fire starting, lighting, medical, hygiene. Keeping them separated means no digging through piles when you need something fast. You just grab the right bag and get to work. In a real emergency, that kind of order saves more time and more lives than any expensive tactical organizer ever could. But organization means nothing without the right mindset. Because when the pressure hits, the real prepper advantage is how you think. Stay calm, stick to your plan, focus on what you can control, not what's collapsing around you. Panic burns time and energy. Routine restores them. Train your brain to function under stress before it matters. Run small drills. Practice lighting a stove in the dark, navigating your home without power, or setting up your radio blindfolded. Those habits build muscle memory, and when the world goes sideways, that calm, practice focus is worth more than any high-end gear. At the end of the day, cheap gear that works will always beat out the expensive stuff. If you want to dive deeper into real survival skills, check out my channel. You'll find playlists on everything from blackout survival to essential survival knowledge. Give the video a like, share it with those you want to see ready, and subscribe for more fact-based prepping strategies. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell, because every step you take now is one less thing to fear later.